happening. This is the tea that's happening in Saudi Arabia. What's popping, guys? What's happening? What's popping? What's happening? Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Regina. If you're new here, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, and let's jump into it. I'm going to be using my favorite notebook. For those who have been here, you can know that I love this notebook because it has everything that I need to talk about, and I'm going to be using my phone. It's not like I have these things in my head. I have jotted them on my phone and on my notebook. So if you see me kind of reading, don't be surprised. It's not like I keep these things in my head, okay? Saudi Arabia has one of the lowest rates of females in the workplace in the whole world. Just imagine, only 20% of women in Saudi Arabia are in the workplace. And I think that's why they hire a lot of females, because men are already in the workplaces, okay? Now I'm not talking about nursing, I'm just talking in general, okay? In general, if you come to Saudi Arabia, most men are the ones who are in the workplaces. Women, most of them are at home, like dealing with family and raising kids and everything, getting married. I don't mean to say that they don't have what it takes, but you find maybe most of them, maybe they even like it, like they want to stay home, be a family woman and things like that. So, and if you ask me, most of the nurses here, I've not seen Arabic nurses doing night shifts here. I've not seen them. Most of them do morning shifts or evening shifts, but night shifts, I don't know. I've not seen any. To be frank, I've not seen any Arabic nurse doing night shifts here. Most of them, now I'm talking about Arabic female nurses, I'm not talking about Arabic male nurses. I've not seen any of them doing night shifts. If you find a nurse in night shifts, she either is a foreign nurse. She will be a foreign nurse. Tanzanian, Nigerian, Filipino, Indians, and then only. You're not going to find Arabic nurses in there. You get what I mean? So, that's how it is. That's how it is. Okay? But in other countries, you're going to find most women are in work and things like that, So, another thing, this place called Mecca and Medina, these places are considered the holiest and sacred places in Saudi Arabia. And if you're non-Muslim, you're not allowed to step foot into that place unless you're a Muslim. And I asked some of my Muslim friends, they told me that planes and everything are not allowed to pass in the sky of Mecca and Medina. I've not been in these places, if you ask me, but yeah, that's it. I didn't know anything about it. I knew it was somewhere where people go for pilgrimage and everything. They go for prayer, But I didn't know that planes are not allowed to fly above the sky of Medina and Mecca. They're not allowed. Like I don't know, people take buses to go there. They take cars and everything, but planes, no. Okay, I didn't know anything about it. This sounds really kind of weird, okay? Beheading, stoning, and death by firing squad are all ways of punishment. Like Saudi use that as ways of punishments for crimes. A crucifixion, it's kind of like they're crucifying you, In Tanzania, we have something called the life sentence. Maybe if you have killed someone, they might give you a life sentence. But I've not heard about something called beheading, firing, or I don't know. Stoning. I've only heard it in Saudi Arabia, and it's not like I've seen it with my own eyes, like someone being beheaded. No, but I've even asked Saudi Arabians. They know that thing is there. That thing is there. Okay. So if you do something wrong and you have a crime, and they tell you they are beheading you or they are firing, don't be surprised. Like the country, Saudi Arabia does not allow this public worship. If you're a Christian, it's not like they don't want you to worship, but they don't want you to worship in public. They don't allow that thing, like going everywhere, maybe with microphones or singing, praising in public with your, it's not allowed. So what we do, if you ask, because I go to pray on Fridays if I'm off, we go to these houses where it's like a community. You go there to pray. It's not like a church you can see it outside, but if you get inside, there's a prayer room where you can pray and praise. But praying in public, like everything, no. One day I went to the picnic, and when it was prayer time, like everyone was, they just put down that, I don't know, we call it in Swahili, something they use to pray on. They just start praying. I've seen people praying in the hospital hallways, like you're passing there, or you're passing in the hallway. When it's prayer time, you see people putting those small, I don't know how they call it in English, something I don't know, but they are praying already. They're already in their prayer, like they can pray anywhere, even on the gardens. I mean, when it's prayer time, they'll just pray. Even if someone is in the car, they'll just get out of the car, put something there, that mat, and they start praying, okay? But if you're Christian, you're not allowed to pray in public. The whole world believes that a week begins on Monday and ends on Sunday. Though there are some people who believe that the week begins on Sunday and ends on Saturday, okay? Now, in Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia is one of the countries that believe a week begins on Sunday and ends on Saturday. So, if you come here, Saudi work days begin on Sunday to Thursday. Sunday to Thursday. Friday and Saturday in Saudi Arabia, it's a weekend. So, if you want something and they tell you like work days, it's not Monday to Sunday. No, it's not Monday to Friday. Here, working days, it's Sunday to Thursday. Friday and Saturday, it's weekend in Saudi Arabia. So if you did not know, if you're coming to work in Saudi Arabia, that's how the week goes, okay? So on Sunday, it's like, Sunday in Saudi Arabia is like a Monday somewhere else, okay? Things are busy, like, I mean, you know, it doesn't even look like a Sunday, because here Sunday is like a Monday. Did you know that birth control is illegal in Saudi Arabia? Actually, I didn't know. This thing, I don't know how they take it, but maybe if you do birth control in Saudi Arabia, it's like you're trying to, it's like you're killing. Like they take it like you're killing or you're doing murder, you know. So if you think that you're going to do birth control, I don't think there are these pills in Saudi Arabia. Maybe Saudi Arabians, Saudis, you should tell me, are there birth control pills in Saudi Arabia? Because birth control is illegal. These things of family planning, I know, it's not allowed in Saudi Arabia. So you get pregnant, you're going to give birth. And this question they use to ask us, it's just like, it's a dilemma, you know, professional dilemma they call them, and you don't know what to do. Let's say the mother is pregnant and the pregnancy is causing a life-threatening condition like eclampsia or things like that, you know. So is the mother allowed to abort? Like the mother allowed to abort? Because abortion is not allowed in Saudi Arabia either, okay? So that professional dilemma, if it's about life and death of the mother, of course you're going to be allowed to save the mother. She's going to abort if it's a life-threatening condition. If it's an emergency, that's what I'm talking about. But just coming to the hospital saying, I want to abort, like it's not allowed. First off, it's not allowed to get pregnant if you're not married. So adultery is not allowed anywhere else either, you know. But in Saudi Arabia, in other countries, if you get pregnant, even if you're not married or something, you're going to give birth. It's not going to be of a big issue like, why did you do this and things like that, okay? But in Saudi Arabia, oh God, they take that into a very big consideration. If you get pregnant, you know, first off, they're going to ask you, where's your marriage certificate and things like that. I don't work in labor. for the record, I don't work in the labor ward, okay? But I've heard these things. Like when you get pregnant, they're going to ask you for your marriage certificate in Saudi Arabia. So if you went and performed adultery or did sex with whatever, with who knows who, I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do. So that might not sound weird, but most people didn't know that thing is really serious in Saudi Arabia. Another thing about this marriage and dating things, Saudis, I don't know, now Saudi Arabia, the Saudis, you need to tell me, is it true that Saudis are not allowed to date out of their culture? Because it's like they're so conservative, and you find most of them marry in their own family. You find cousins marrying their own cousins, okay? You find nieces and nephews. I mean, you find maybe like niece, no, what's this? Most of the times, cousins, they marry each other, okay? Just to preserve the family heritage and everything, like the family line, the family name, you know. And I heard if you marry out of your culture in Saudi Arabia, like you marry, what's this? Maybe you marry outside your culture and maybe that person is not even Arabic. Maybe you marry maybe an African, or you marry a Western or European, I don't know. That person is not going to be given dual citizenship. They don't give dual citizenship. They might give citizenship to your kid, but they are not going to give you citizenship. Okay, if you get what I mean. Like, even if you live here, even if it's not about marriage, if you live in Saudi Arabia, even if you live here for 20 years or whatever, I heard they don't give you dual citizenship. You're not going to be given Saudi citizenship just because you've resided here, you've lived here for years and years. You're going to gain other things, but citizenship, forget about it. In Europe, I hear when you live there for, I think maybe from 2 to 5 years, they can give you dual citizenship. They can give you their citizen if you want to. But here, forget about it. They're not giving you anything. Okay? So, please, Saudis, you need to tell me, it is real true. It is real true, and I think it's true because I've heard people talking about it. Okay? Another thing, if you go to a hotel, if you go to maybe to book a hotel and think, now I don't know if this is true. If you want maybe to sleep, you want a hotel, if you are two different sex, they'll always ask you for the marriage certificate. I've not done that myself, but please tell me, is that true? These things are so weird, but oh my God, this country is so, like, it's on fire. I mean, it's on fire, okay? They won't allow you to, I mean, they won't allow you, if you're different sex, to go in the hotel, like book a hotel. You're not married, they're not going to allow that. And I want to know, is that true? Because I've not booked a hotel with a different sex myself, and I've not booked a hotel. Because where am I going? I'm busy. But you need to tell me, is that true? That's also one of the craziest things I hear about Saudi Arabia. Yeah, this thing, I've talked about it. Non-Muslims are not allowed to have Saudi citizenship. If you're not a Muslim, if you're a Christian, you're not allowed to have Saudi citizenship. Forget about it. Officially, Saudi women may not travel abroad without permission from their husbands. You know, officially, that's an official law. Saudi women are not allowed to travel abroad without permission of their husbands. So if you're married here in Saudi Arabia, you're not going anywhere without the permission of your husband. In Tanzania, in other countries, even if you're married, I mean, you can travel. You don't have to have your husband's permission to go somewhere. Like, I know, but this is what's happening. This is the tea that's happening in Saudi Arabia. Like, this is true. And I heard that back then, a woman was not allowed to travel alone. Like, she had to have a man. Like if you're caught walking, only a woman, you're not going to, I mean, you're not going anywhere unless you have a man, either your brother or your dad. Like you're not allowed to go anywhere alone. Even if it's traveling abroad, you're not allowed to go there alone. You need to have either your brother, your husband, your father, I don't know. But I think, but as for 2025, I think they're allowed to travel, even if you can go alone. At this time, you can walk alone in the city. You can walk alone. As a woman, no one is going to ask you anything. But back then, it was not allowed. But at this point, you're not allowed to travel without your husband's permission. And I think maybe if you're Saudi, they will always ask, if you're going somewhere, they will always ask for maybe your husband's permission document, things like that. I don't know, maybe they ask them. It does sound weird. But this is how they protect these people, not to judge. Now this is also weird. 80% of Saudi Arabian labor, now I'm talking about workers, 80% of Saudi Arabian labor, it's foreigners. It's non-Saudi workers, if you get what I mean. You always find a bunch of Indians, a bunch of Bangladesh, a bunch of Filipinos, and just a few amount of Tanzanians. It's not like we're obsessed with this place anyway. I mean, do you know the meaning of 80% of labor, of workers working in this big country? They are non-Saudis. These people only stay home, relax, like drink coffee and tea, like they don't work. These people are rich to the extent that they even hire people from outside to just come and build their country, and they're just sitting and enjoying. Only a few percent, I'm telling you, few percent of Saudi Arabians are in the workforce. The rest, I mean, only 20% are in the workforce. The rest are just enjoying life, In Tanzania, in other countries, you find the indigenous people, the natives are the ones who are, I mean, they are the ones who cover the largest percent of the workforce. But in Saudi Arabia, if you see all this development and everything, if you enter in the industries, in the shops, in the groceries, I mean, most of the places, you find non-Saudis are the ones who are working there. Saudis themselves, they're having a good time. Sounds weird, right? Let's say, for example, if you compare it with the US. In the US, like most US citizens are the ones who are, workers, even if they have foreigners, but those foreigners are maybe already citizens, even if they are, you cannot, in Tanzania, 90 or 95% of workforce is Tanzanians. We are the ones building the country. But in Saudi, let's just go and sip some coffee. And we'll take foreigners to come work for us, But thank God. So that makes Saudi a very, I shouldn't use the word easy, but it's a country that if you're a foreigner, you're going to get a job here, because most indigenous people, most Saudis here are not even working. They're just enjoying their time, So if you're a foreigner, you will of course get a job here, because they don't work themselves. Only few people work. They don't work. Only few people do, if you get what I mean. Only few people will be there working. I think those are some of the things that you did not know about in Saudi Arabia, and they might sound weird, but here those things are like either law or it's their tradition that they take in high regard, because if you go against it, my God, you'll be in for it. If you go against what they believe, if you go against their laws and do what you think is right instead of doing what you're told should be right in this country, you're going to find yourself somewhere else. So tell me, what's one of the things I talked about that you found even more weird or, more shocking, So just comment down and tell me. Maybe the Saudis are supposed to tell me what's more in this country. What didn't I talk about that? Maybe even you Saudis find it weird, but it's your culture, okay? So thank you so much, guys, for being with me, for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. We are just getting there. You know what I mean? You're just getting there. So be blessed and see you in my next video. Goodbye.